The once quiet forests of Ekiti State have exploded into action, and this time, it's not the criminals calling the shots. For weeks, fear crept like a shadow through villages in the Ekiti North senatorial district. Farmers abandoned their lands. Mothers warned their children not to wander too far. Entire communities in places like Itopoji, Ayemoro, and Oke-Ekiti lived with one question hanging over their heads every single night. Are we next? But today, the story has changed. The hunters have become the hunted. Right now, deep inside the thick, winding forest stretching toward the Kogi border, a massive joint security operation is unfolding, and it is not business as usual. This is not a slow convoy driving through town for show. This is a full-scale, boots-on-ground sweep designed to flush out every last armed criminal hiding under the cover of trees and fear. The operation brings together the full weight of the Nigerian Army, the Department of State Services, DSS, the Nigeria Police Force, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, the state-backed Amotekun Corps, the Agro Marshal Corps, and here's the real game-changer, local hunters and vigilantes from communities like the fearless men of Irele and surrounding towns. And trust me, that last group. They know those forests like the back of their hands. But let's rewind for a moment. This didn't start overnight. As security forces intensified pressure on bandits in neighboring states like Kwara and Kogi, something predictable happened. The criminals started running. And in their desperation, they looked south. Their target. The dense, sprawling forest of Ekiti. Their plan. Simple: infiltrate quietly, establish hidden camps, rebuild their kidnapping networks, and turn peaceful farming communities into terror zones. And for a while, they almost succeeded. Reports began surfacing of armed men storming farmlands. Water sources were blocked. Farmers were chased away. Entire ancestral lands were seized. The fear was so thick you could almost taste it. Community leaders from 6 affected towns did something they rarely do: they wrote directly to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Ekiti State Governor Biodun Oyebanji. The message was urgent and clear. If nothing is done now, we are heading toward disaster. Then came the final straw. A violent clash near the border community of Koro led to tragic loss of life, including a brave local forest guard who stood his ground trying to defend his people. That moment changed everything. Governor Oyebanji didn't issue another press statement. He moved. Quietly. Strategically. Decisively. A surprise, large-scale security package was activated. No noise. No leaks. Just action. Brigadier General Ebenezer Ogundana, Special Advisor on Security, confirmed what many were already hearing: troops and operatives had penetrated deep into the forest, not skimming the edges, not patrolling highways, but pushing into the darkest, most remote pockets where these criminals believed they were untouchable. From Ide through Oke-Ekiti, sweeping toward the Kogi border. From Itopoji cutting off escape routes toward Kwara. 2 fronts. No gaps. No exit. And here's where it gets powerful. The inclusion of indigenous hunters transformed the operation from strong to unstoppable. These are men who grew up navigating those forests without GPS. They know hidden footpaths invisible to outsiders. They recognize fresh footprints on damp soil. They understand the terrain in ways that can't be taught in military academies. Bandits who once relied on thick vegetation for cover are now discovering a brutal truth. There is nowhere left to hide. And the results are already speaking loudly. In Oke-Ekiti, operatives of the Amotekun Corps intercepted 5 fleeing suspects. The men claimed they were farmers from northern states. But searches told a different story. Locally made firearms. Axes. Daggers. Multiple phones. Traditional charms they believed would shield them. Instead, they were shielded by handcuffs. Security officials have made one thing crystal clear: this operation is not a weekend exercise. It will not pause. It will not retreat. It will not relax until every armed group is dismantled and every kidnapped victim is accounted for. Let's be honest, for too long, rural communities across Nigeria have carried the burden of insecurity while the rest of the country scrolls past headlines. But this operation sends a strong message. When federal forces combine heavy firepower with grassroots intelligence, something shifts. When local hunters stand shoulder to shoulder with soldiers, the balance changes. When communities refuse to surrender their land, criminals lose their comfort. The forests of Ekiti are no longer silent hiding places. They are active battlegrounds, and this time, the state is fully awake. So the real question now isn't whether the bandits will be flushed out. It's how long they can keep running. Because from every direction, north, south, east, west, the net is closing. And this time, there is no safe haven left in the trees.